What's going on, everybody? It's Nice Pants Lance. As you guys know, I am motorcyclist. I have no bike. I sold the Speed Twin and I am trying to get a new motorcycle, but I don't know really what I want. So my best friend said, hey, if you don't know what you want, why don't you take a ride on my bike and maybe it'll help inspire you or help you decide what kind of motorcycle you want to get into. So today I am taking just a little reminder ride. Of course, you guys know this bike has appeared in a few other of my videos, but I'm gonna take another bike just to remind myself what it's like to be on a Yamaha V-Star 1300. The four things I want to talk about today are comfort, performance, style, and price. So without further ado, let me hop on this bike and start riding it. Jog my memory. It's been a little while. Things has forward control extensions with a heel toe shifter, 1300cc liquid cooled V twin. All right. As you guys know, the kind of bike I want, it has to be way more comfortable than my Speed Twin. I want it to be a fairly comfortable bike. I am a big guy after all, so I really need the extra space, extra size. Performance-wise, I want it to be similar in performance to my Speed Twin. For a big bike, I'm never going to be able to match the performance of a smaller retro naked, but I still don't want it to handle like a ton of bricks. So, and then price, it's got to fit in a budget. I won't be able to afford a Ducati Multistrada V4 or anything like that. I won't be able to afford a Harley Road Glide or Indian Challenger, or I don't know, maybe I will. Who knows? But yeah, it's got to be within a budget, and of course I have to like the way it looks. I have to like the style. So already, comfort wise, yeah, it's pretty comfortable. It's got a low slung seat, and I really appreciate that. The Speed Twin was pretty tall. I'm 6 feet tall. I got a 32-inch inseam, and I weigh 250 pounds. So as a big boy, I kind of got tired of having to almost roundhouse kick myself over the Speed Twin seat because of how tall it was. So this very low seat allows me to flat foot really, really easily. So already this bike is feeling more comfortable than my Speed Twin. Nice sound. All right, first item on the menu is comfort. I spoke of the low seat height and the forward controls while I was in the parking lot. The way that the bars are and how forward these controls are really kind of forces me into a comfortable position. My legs are stretched out front. My arms are comfortably forward. They're not too high up, but not low enough where it's making me lean over. This allows my upper body to kind of be in a neutral upright straight. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, this is a very chill motorcycle. The way I would describe its comfort is just like, this bike is made for touring. I really want to have a bike that's more conducive with someone that's going to put on more miles. I do a lot of commuting now to work. Since I bought a new house, I have a 35 to 45 minute commute. So definitely want something that's comfortable. That doesn't put a lot of pressure on my wrists, something that doesn't put a lot of pressure on my back. The seat is super wide. I will say these controls are a little too forward for me. The person this is designed for has longer legs than I, so this is definitely comfort mode in regards to its rider triangle. And by the way, the rider triangle is the relationship between my feet, my butt, and my hands, and the shape that your body makes when you're sitting on it. So rider triangle is about as relaxed as it can get right now. A little bit too forced out. My legs, I almost have to reach for the peg, almost. So comfort, does this bike have it? Is this bike as comfortable as I want my bike to be? Could I live with owning this bike or a bike similar to this? I think yes. Yes, this bike nails it on the comfort. This bike is definitely as comfortable as I want my next bike to be. This is more comfortable than my Speed Twin, and I could definitely picture myself doing a ton of miles on a bike this comfortable. All right, next up on the list is performance. So I got a few things to talk about performance-wise. This is a liquid-cooled V-twin. My last bike was a higher revving parallel twin, and it made like 96 horsepower and 89 pound-feet of torque. So the thing was a freaking beast. I like the way this sounds. So, performance-wise, let's see how this thing brakes. It's got dual disc front brakes. Oh man, yep. This thing stops really nice. I didn't want to lock up the rear tire or do anything drastic, but to be honest, you don't really need to do that in order to test the intensity of the brakes. Oop, that's why you gotta be in first gear. Yeah, baby. So it's definitely got the brakes. Engine wise, I will admit I love the torque. I want my next bike to be as torquey as my Speed Twin, and this thing has a ton of punch. I really like that. The low down torque of this particular engine is really nice. At this point, I think it's safe to say I would rather have a big displacement V-twin yeah, this thing gets up and moves. But anyways, I would rather have a big displacement V-twin than get onto another higher revving parallel twin. So yeah, no Vulcan 650s or Boulevard 800s or, you know, nothing like that, unfortunately. This does have the torque that I like. I believe it's got like 80 pound-feet and like I think 70 to 80 horsepower, but it doesn't really have the performance that I desire. Is this power nice? Yes, it is, but I really am a fan of performance, and I love the grunt this thing has, but it's just not quite enough for me to be satisfied with it as my motorcycle, you know. I'm not knocking on its power. I'm not saying that it's weak. It's just I've had a ton of experience on different motorcycles, and safe to say I prefer bigger, more powerful ones. That's it. So does this have the power? Not really. It's got enough power for me to be happy with, but I don't know if I could. I think I'd have to go for something with a little more meat. Alright, handling wise, let's see. This thing is definitely, how do I describe it? It doesn't really like to be tipped over into corners that much.
I mean, it does have some nice side-to-side sweeping action. This bike is really nice for long sweeping turns, but because it's so low, because it's got such a low center of gravity, its lean angle isn't that far. It doesn't take much to scrape on this bike. That's just the way bikes like this are, you know, bikes that are super low and comfortable. They don't tip over as far. It's just the way it goes, you know. They scrape a little sooner. It doesn't really like to hold a line easy. You know, this isn't the kind of bike that I could picture myself scraping the peg with one arm off. You know, like this feels really good right now, sweeping around this corner and ripping it. But at the tail of the Dragon, I would just be taking my time. You know, you're not going to be carving the canyons with this thing. And you know, it's got enough sweeping action. It is a very it is nimble for what it is. I mean, 700 pounds, and just the way that it flicks back and forth ain't too bad. But I think it's limited lean angle, it's limited ground clearance, and you know, just how long of a wheelbase it is. This thing doesn't really this thing doesn't ooze performance like that. This is more of a drag strip quarter-mile bike than it is a canyon carver or, you know, a twisty freaking bike. I would not bring this bike to a track. So does this handle as nice as I'd like it to? Not really. I know I wanted to say, I know I said I wanted a mile muncher, but this is a little too much in the touring direction. I don't necessarily need something that's this touring oriented. Alright, so next I want to talk about style and looks and appearance. I can park this bike in a few minutes and do a little walk around, kind of talk about the style of this bike, but while I'm riding, I just want to say that the cockpit of this bike is very pleasing to look at. I'm not a very big chrome guy. I will say this bike does have a little too much chrome on it for my liking. It's not as much as some Harleys, but the fact that this big headlight right here and basically everything I'm looking at is chrome. It's just, I don't know, it's nice, but I'm just not a chrome guy. It comes down to preference. Chrome isn't a bad thing, but I'm just not a chrome guy, that's all. It's a very beautiful looking bike. If you like cruisers, this is very, very nice. It really lets you know that you don't require a Harley to have a beautiful cruiser that oozes style. Just the chrome and the way that these pipes sweep back, the very angled V-Star 1300 kind of matched with the angled tank here. I mean, everything's very conducive to each other. So, oh, there's a car coming. So let me get out of the way here. But so far, I'm actually kind of thinking I want a cruiser. I'm actually kind of thinking I want a cruiser. There's a lot of big bikes out there in a lot of different motorcycle genres. But just, I don't know, just the way this feels definitely brings me back to when I used to have a Honda Shadow 750. And how much, see that wasn't too bad. I went over those railroad tracks and it soaked it up. So that's another +1 for the comfort. Anyway, style-wise, does this have the style that I like? Honestly, it is a nice bike. If you're a real Iron Pony, you know, Sons of Anarchy type dude, then And honestly, this bike is, I don't know, I feel like it would speak to somebody that likes V-twin cruisers. You know, I feel like V-twin cruisers, there's just so many of them. They deserve to have their own like category, and if you're into that, this is really what it is. All things considered, for a V-twin cruiser, this is a very beautiful bike. It's very stylized, but I don't know, just given how much chrome is on it, and you know, there is a little bit of plastic up here. This is plastic, and you know, just the way everything feels. The key is a little flimsy. You know, there's certain quality things that are they're just noticeable to me. You know, it's not to say that this bike has poor quality. I consider most Japanese bikes to have really nice quality, but there's just too many things to notice. You know, just the way that this is machined, the way that the steel is machined, it's okay, but it doesn't blow me away. This is a very nice looking bike, but it doesn't blow me away. So does this have the style that I like? Honestly, no, it doesn't. So man, that sounds nice. Definitely has a good sound to it. But okay, the last criteria is price. Would this bike be good for me price-wise? Can I handle the price of this? And I can already tell you right away, without much description, yes, this bike definitely nails it in the price category. The budget is well within, or rather the price of this is well within my budget. You can find V-Stars like this for anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 with some miles on it, or really you're spending less than 10 on a bike like this, and that's very generous. I think I spent like 12 to 13 on my Speed Twin, and the payments I was making was well, it was just too much, I'll put it that way. So a bike like this, you might even be able to save up enough cash to buy it outright. I definitely wouldn't have to make payments on this bike. So does this bike fit within my price? Hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah, this bike fits within my price range. I would definitely appreciate having a bike that would either eliminate my payments or would make my new payments greatly less than that of the Speed Twin. So okay, let's wrap it up. Out of all the four things I talked about, one being comfort. Does this have the comfort? Hell yeah, it does. This one blows comfort out of the water. Does this have the performance that I want? I'm gonna say kinda, but really this is a no. You know how it is. I love the power of this motorcycle. I just want it to be a little more. Not a big deal. This is a 1300cc V-twin. I'm not expecting it to have the power of an 1800cc V-twin, but to be honest, I think I may be in the market for something with 1800cc V-twin power. So performance is a no, unfortunately. Style is... It's also going to be a kinda, but not really. I love the style of this bike for a V-twin cruiser, but I kind of want something a little different, you know, something that's going to be more of a head turner or a conversation starter at the gas station. I love the way this bike looks and its practicality and everything. It looks good with the soft bags on it. But yeah, it's I'm just gonna have to say no for that. And all right, so the last one is price. Is this price what I want it to be, or sorry, is it priced well? Yes, this one knocks price out of the water. As I said earlier, this bike is as cheap as I could definitely afford this bike, and I would be really, really happy. I would be super happy living with the cost of this bike. Even the cost of maintenance is very low. You know, these Yamahas are super reliable, so even the cost of maintenance is well within my budget. So so that puts this at about a 50-50 for this motorcycle. Unfortunately, I
I want a perfect 4. I gotta have a perfect 4 across the board. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say no to the V-Star 1300. I love this motorcycle. Honestly, thank you, Marble, for letting me ride this bike again. Every time I ride this motorcycle, I have a great time. Everything about it is fantastic, and to be honest, I highly suggest you guys, no matter who you are, give one of these metric cruisers a try. I promise you, it'll be a good time. I don't care if you have a Harley or an Indian or a Goldwing, whatever. You would really like this motorcycle. So yeah, with that being said, if you liked seeing the V-Star 1300 again, please give this video a like. If you want to see what bike I test out next, please subscribe. I don't know what I'm going to try next, so if you guys have any suggestions for me in the comments, just go ahead, tell me what you think. Let me know what bike I should try next, and help me decide what motorcycle to buy. Get me on 2 wheels again, people. Love you guys. Peace.